Yeah, teacher trainees, yeah, you are welcome back to my class. Introduction and the presentation go together because the introduction usually leads right into the presentation phase of the lesson. There are still separate parts, however, because they accomplish different purposes. The introduction provides interest and motivation to the students. It focuses the students' attention on the lesson and its purposes. It also convinces students that they will benefit from the lesson. So, in order to learn something more about the introduction of lesson, let me present before you this lesson entitled "The Skill of Introducing a Lesson," which is also known as a set induction in simple term. So, what is the meaning of skill of introducing a lesson? Well, introductory skill is a first skill to practice. This is a skill where a student teacher makes an attempt to create interest in teaching his class. It involves establishing rapports with the learners, promoting their attentions, and exposing them to essential contents. It is concerned with the lesson initiation. It may be defined as proficiency in the use of verbal as well as non-verbal behavior, teaching aids, and appropriate techniques for making pupils to realize the need of studying the lesson. Yes. What are the objectives of introducing a lesson? Yes. Number one is to prepare students mentally for learning. Second, to focus the attention of students towards the content. Third, to know about the previous knowledge. Fourth, to create curiosity for new subject. And lastly, to establish a link between what they know and what they are going to learn. Now, let me tell you some of the most important points to be kept in mind and to do accordingly in the very beginning of the introduction of the lesson. Number one is be pleasant and creative. Do not start teaching directly, complete the formality. Second, try to be casual to them. So by maintaining formality, uh, you can be slightly casual to them, and this can be done by asking some simple questions like "How are you?" "Had your breakfast?" Something like that. Uh, Third, write the date and the class on the top left corner of either white or blackboard, and the name of the subject and title of the lesson on the top right corner of the white or the blackboard, right? Fourth, do not tell the title of the unit. Arouse curiosity by telling a story. You can present the facts, you can show newspaper cuttings, you can share your experiences, you can perform some sort of dramatization or referring current issues, experimentations, and so on. And the next step is ensure revival of previous knowledge in terms of knowledge required to understand present content. You can use teaching aids if possible. This may include photographs, maps, models, search, samples, newspaper, then apparatus of experiments, diagrams, objectives, and so on. And in last but one step, you announce the statement of the aim, and most importantly, declare the lesson with the help of the students and write the title of the lesson on the board by saying, well, let us learn this lesson, let us study, we shall study, let us know more about, let us understand, something like that. Truly speaking, the skill of preparation and introduction of a lesson has four important components. The first one is the use of previous knowledge of the students. Second component is continuity or sequencing of questions and statements. And the third component is referred to as relevance of questions and the statements to the present topic or relation. And the last component of this particular skill is appropriateness of device use in terms of age, grade, and the maturity level of students. So now let me start with the first component of the skill of introducing relation, that is nothing but the use of previous knowledge of the students. Previous knowledge refers to the learner's level of achievements before instruction begins. Use of previous knowledge is much because it helps to establish an integration between the pre-existing knowledge of the learner and the new knowledge that the teacher wants to impart him, right? So there are many ways to present an introduction. Here are a few. First one is asking introductory questions to get the students thinking about the knowledge of the topic or general awareness, devices and techniques of exploring, link between previous knowledge and the new knowledge, and the side-by-side creating situations. Another way that can be used is showing pictures that relate to the lesson topic. Third way is telling a story to show the importance of the topic. And lastly, bringing in realia, that is real objects related to the lesson. Second important component of the skill of the preparation and the introduction of relation is continuity or sequencing of the questions and the statements. Right. So while presenting the questions, sequencing of the ideas must be maintained. There must be logical ordering of statement questions. Questions must be related to students' response. Questions or statements used should be linked with thesis statements. After preliminary questions and introduction, teachers should establish a link of previous knowledge with the present topic. And finally, teachers must try to arouse the interest of the students through introducing a surprise, telling a story, or showing enthusiasm, something like that. Uh, Third important component of this skill is relevance of questions and statements to the present topic or relation. The questions asked or the statement given must be strictly relevant to the present relation. The questions or statements used must be relevant to the age. It must be relevant to the standard. It must be relevant and adequate to linked with the new relations. The last and fourth important component of the skill of introducing elation is appropriateness of device use in terms of age, grade, and maturity level of students. Well, firstly, use of devices should be suitable to the maturity level, age level, grade level, interest, culture, experience of pupils, and also to the unit of lesson to be taught. And secondly, more than one device can be used for desirable effect. Thirdly, there must be continuity or sequence of ideas or information being presented. The teacher's statement or questions should be related to the immediately present questions or statement. And fourthly, the thesis statement or should be related to the present relation and its aim. In order to motivate the learner, the teacher should make use of appropriate devices or techniques while introducing elation. Here, I am giving you some good examples of devices that can be used effectively for introducing elation. Like use of examples, analogies, similarities, questioning, particularly introductory questions based on the previous knowledge of the students related to the presentation, lecturing, describing, narrating, illustrating, storytelling, describing related instance, role playing, dramatization, demonstration, use of audiovisual aids, experimentation, as well as demonstration. And with regard to the audiovisual aids to be used, I'm giving you some more examples which include maps, models, diagrams, charts, pictures, samples, specimens, newspaper cuts, objects, apparatus of experiments, pamphlets, photographs, points, etc., etc. So now, before concluding this lesson, let me tell you the important rules to be followed in developing the skill of preparation and introduction of a lesson. Number one is use of device should be suitable to the maturity level, age level, grade level, interest, culture, experience of pupils, and also to the unit of lesson to be taught. Second one is more than one device can be used for desirable effect. Thirdly, there must be continuity or sequence of ideas or information being presented. Fourth one, the teacher's statement or questions must relate to the present lesson and its aims. So with this, let me say thank you very much for attending to this lesson.